are we doing today, Barry?
Well, we're doing Talking Tabletop. And Nudge is playing with his little kitty treat ball there. So, in Talking Tabletop, we discuss a topic in the board game hobby. And we encourage people to discuss what we discuss in the comments down below. And in 2 weeks, we'll discuss what you discussed in the comments of what we discussed. A little confusing, isn't it?
So there's some discussion going on?
Sometimes. Now, lately we've been doing a terminology section for people just getting into the hobby, and then later on we'll get to the topic of the hobby that we are going to discuss. So, what is today's terminology, Jennifer?
Dexterity games.
Correct. What is a dexterity game?
What Nudge is doing right now.
Yeah, pretty much.
Trying to get the treats out of the egg. But there aren't any in there.
He's stupid.
He's special.
Yes.
He's a baby.
Yes.
Dexterity games are things that you have to do, like, with your hands.
Yeah, it's usually in dexterity games, you're trying to manipulate the game pieces in the game, whether it be by flicking or, moving one part of a stack from one place to another, or toppling, bouncing something on top of something else.
And perhaps a game like Jenga?
Jenga, yes. Jenga is a good example of a dexterity game, yes.
You do have to manipulate the little logs.
Right.
Out.
In Jenga, you're pulling one from the bottom and putting it up top, and try not to topple over the stack of planks, I guess you would call them.
They are precision crafted hardwood blocks.
Ooh, yeah. Okay. Now, we don't have too many dexterity games. My hands are really bad and, stuff like that. But we do have two. We have Jenga.
Yeah, and we have
Rampage.
Rampage.
Which is now called Terra in Meeple City.
It's not called Rampage anymore?
No, there was some copyright issues with the name. Now in Terra in Meeple City, you are actually flicking discs across the board, trying to move your little monsters, and then you physically hold the monsters above the board and drop it onto different buildings to try and eat up these little meeples in there. And you're flicking cars off the monsters' heads and stuff like that. So, yeah, that's another dexterity game.
I like it because it has Batmans.
Yes, there's Batman symbols all over the roof tiles of the buildings. Now, there are many others. Like I said, we only have two. There's Coconuts, which is a dexterity game where you have these little monkeys that sit backwards from a pile of cups in the center of the table, and you're flicking coconuts out of these monkeys' arms, and they shoot them behind their head.
That sounds awesome.
It's tough to get. It's out of print right now. I believe there's another reprint coming.
What about Barrel of Monkeys? Would that be a dexterity game?
I don't know what it is.
Seriously?
Seriously.
Oh, well, it's a little barrel, and there's monkeys in there, and they have, like, their arms are hooked this way and, like, this way. And Barry can see me, but most people probably know. And then you got to take one monkey, and then you got to, like, hook the other one. And then it's like you make a chain, and you got to hook other ones with only using the monkey arms.
Yeah,
barrel full of monkeys, Barry.
It sounds like a dexterity game. Okay, it could be. Crokinole is another example of a dexterity game where you're flicking these, are they balls? I think they're balls. If I remember right. They might be discs from one side of the board into another. It's sort of like skee ball, I guess, too, or something like that. Where trying to get I think it was a disc into the center of the game board.
Sorry, we just had a nudge quake.
So that's dexterity games.
That's swell.
So what is the discussion topic, Jennifer?
I believe you wanted to discuss the channel.
Yeah, I did. Normally this time of year people are making their gaming resolutions for themselves or their channels if they're on YouTube. I don't really believe in resolutions. Because most people break them anyway. But There are a couple things I would like to do this year with not only the channel but with my gaming interest in general. So beginning with the gaming interest, I'm going to try and get some of my older games to the table again. I'm kind of a cult and a new guy to an extent. I do go revisit new older games at times, but
Only when I bug you to play one.
well, no, it's not that. It's I don't like mass-produced games, so I don't play them again. But
And that's a problem because I do.
yes, but you play with your mother.
I was just saying my point of view.
I understand your point of view. I do not like most mass-produced games. I mean, Nazi's okay and Clue's okay, but she keeps bugging me about Monopoly, a game I can't stand, and I have no interest in playing at all. I've expressed this several times, and it doesn't seem to get into her head. We have played Connect 4 and Hungry Hippo and certain other mass-produced games over the year. But, like I said, I want to try and get some older games back to the table that we haven't played since the beginning of our venture into hobby board gaming.
Like,
Carson City. There's a couple. Yeah, there's a few. Through the Ages. I'd like to get back to that one again.
I never played that. You played that by yourself.
Yeah, Kingsport or Kingsburg rather. There's a few of them. What about you, Jennifer?
What are my board game things?
Yes.
I like fun party games. I love mass-produced games. There's a nostalgia with some of them, sure. But, that's the kind of games I like fun social games. I'd like to play, have a few more board game nights with other people.
Oh, yeah, it's a little difficult with your schedule.
My schedule and, certain things that are going on right now.
Yeah, we could try to do that later on, when things settle down.
Yeah.
Now, I would like to also get some more in-depth war games played this year to see if Jen and I like them. We do have a few entry-level ones with 1775, Heroes of Normandy, Memoir 44, Battle Lore, which I don't think you particularly liked.
No, because we have Memoir 44, so I like that.
Yeah, it's a similar system. It's a little more in-depth than Memoir 44, though. I just bought Band of Brothers Ghost Panzer, which is kind of in the entry level, but a little more advanced than some of these other games.
Now, did you buy it because it was a Band of Brothers?
No, it's got nothing to do with the Easy Company. This is tanks, for the most part. No, Jen mentioned that. I knew a couple guys. There's actually a picture of them right here. Dave Heffron and Wild Bill Garnier. There is a Band of Brothers game. It's actually the predecessor to Ghost Panzer, but it's out of print right now. And I was talking to Joel Eddy the other day, and he said it is coming back into print. They're just changing some of the rules to mix the two rule sets together. I did think about that. Even playing like Memoir 44, which doesn't depict any battles that these guys were in. Playing some of these games that simulate real life periods, and if you knew people in it, it kind of hits home a little bit. Like I said, I knew these guys, Babe Heffron and Wild Bill. They were from Easy Company and 101st Airborne. Wild Bill jumped. It wasn't in D-Day. It was the day after, the night after, I think it was. And that's how he got his nickname. When he jumped in this town in France, right before he jumped in, he found out his brother was killed by the Nazis. And when he landed, he killed everything in sight that moved. And that's where he got his nickname, Wild Bill. And then later on, Babe wasn't one of the original Easy Company jumpers, parachuters. He came in as one of the replacements, and then Wild Bill and Babe met there, in the Army while they were out in battle in World War II. And they found out that they lived around the corner from each other in Philly, but never really met each other. While Bill was a couple of years older than Babe. And then while Bill lost his leg in the Battle of the Bulge and he was sent home, and Babe finished it out. He found Hitler's fortress out there in the Alps, and then he went through until V-Day. And then he came home, and these two men talked to each other every other day, basically, on the phone, or got together for the rest of their lives for the next... they both died last year.
Yeah.
And they didn't talk much about it until the Band of Brothers book was written. Until this guy started interviewing. Like, I was talking to Babe's daughter, and she said she knew he was in the Army, but she didn't know exactly where, or what capacity of the Army he was in, or what he went through during World War II and all that. And that's how these guys were. They came home and they just lived out their lives. While Bill went to work on the docks in Philly, Babe went on to his job. And then later on, this book came out, and then eventually the TV series. And then these guys started getting more notoriety for what they did over there. And then Babe and Wild Bill actually wrote a book about themselves, and their friendships, brother in arms. And, they didn't really talk about their feelings about the war. They tried.
Well, they didn't do it for notoriety.
No, they didn't. It was these guys were a totally different breed than people today. It wasn't about war or anything now. It was about the country.
Yep.
Yeah. And these guys are dying off. Like I said, Babe and Wild Bill died last year. A few years before that, Winters died. Their captain. They're, I think, out of Easy Company, there's like 20 or 30 left. These men are in their 90s now. Most of them. But anyway, that's I met them guys through my mother worked at the Turf Club, which is an off-track horse betting site in Philly, and Babe would frequent that quite often, and he would bring her donuts and coffee. It's my mother loved sweet stuff and coffee from Dunkin' Donuts, and that's how they met. And then my mother introduced me to them, and I talked to them for a good bit over the years. And I met them in my early 20s, and
you're in your 50s now, so
yeah,
that was a long
that was a long time. And like I said, I only had three heroes in my life: these two guys and my grandfather. And like I said, they didn't talk about it much, but towards the end, they would. They made their book. I was at one of their book signings on 2nd Street. It was like a bazaar with food and all that. And these two were sitting at the table doing book signings. And I brought them a beer. We started talking. And a guy came up and wanted them to sign their book, And the guy said, "You guys are heroes." And he said, "No, we're not. The guys in the tanks who pulled us out of the hedgerows in France and the air bombers and all, they're heroes. We were just there to do a job." And that's how they thought about the whole war. They were just there to do a job.
And those guys in the tanks probably thought the same thing that Babe and
Wild
Bill thought.
Yeah. And then another guy said, "I read Band of Brothers and I liked this book better." And it kind of upset them.
Why?
Especially Bill. He's like, I appreciate that you enjoyed our story, but the guys that were interviewed in Band of Brothers, they're heroes. They're the ones who put their lives on the line time and time again. So that's when I really, it really hit me that these guys were a Band of Brothers. But anyway, that's why I had some issues with some World War II games, especially games that would portray battles that they were in. Something with the Battle of the Bulge. I probably I'd be a little hesitant because the reality of that situation would probably sink in a little bit.
Well, my grandfather was in the Battle of the Bulge too, but he didn't talk to me about those stories. I just know he was there.
Yeah. I mean, most of them guys. Even my family's been in just about every major war or conflict since World War II.
Yeah.
Somebody in the family has been, and they don't talk about,
Mm-mm. I like Memoir 44, and I'm usually always America, the Allies. The only time I hate this game is when you Nazis win a battle that I know you shouldn't have won. I feel I failed America.
Yeah. And that's part of the reason I want to get into more heavier games is the historical background of them. Even if it's just to learn the specific situation that the game deals with, whether it be World War II or, the Civil War or whatever it may be. I kind of do like games that insert educational stuff in it. Like 1775, in the back of that, there's a bunch of historical facts, and each card has a historical reference and stuff like that. So that's another one. That's pretty much the only things I want to do gaming wise, I think. Other than what Jen said, not only with people we know, but on the internet, I want to try and get to, do some gaming via Skype or Google or something with some other people in the board game community. Last year, my work schedule just did not allow that. Even with our family, it was tough. So now that I have a little more time, I do want to try and game more with not only our family, but people on the internet.
Yeah, you have time. I don't.
Yeah, it's kind of how it works. One of us does, one of us
doesn't.
doesn't. Now, what about the channel, Jennifer?
I never liked the channel.
All right, so Jen's out. I'm going back to solo.
It's okay. It's all right. It's good.
It's good.
No, I think you put a lot of work into it. Maybe I never realized before you started doing this how much work goes into this. Sometimes it is annoying, but I understand.
What do you mean it's annoying?
Well, because I would like to spend time with you, but you are editing videos, uploading videos, watching other people's videos, listening to people's podcasts. Yeah, I had no idea that there was this whole world of board games.
Yeah, it's like every hobby out there. There's going to be a ton of information out there, whether it be YouTube or podcast or forums or whatever.
I'd like to see you do more videos playing games with your sister.
Oh, that's on Amanda.
I don't know. That would be great.
I don't know if she has any interest in that. And again, it's time. My sister works 6 days a week. Same as Jen. It's a time thing. But I don't know if she has any interest in doing it.
Just tell her she gets to be a hand model.
Yeah. We'll see. I'll talk to her about it. For me, I'm going to try and loosen up a little bit on this. I noticed, Jen, I don't take myself seriously at all. And these videos I don't for the most part. But with the rules, I try to get them as accurate as I can and to get them across as accurate as I can, because I am showing other, I feel like it's my responsibility if I'm going to do this to show other people how to play correctly, and if I'm wrong, I will admit that in this comments below if it's brought to my attention.
Right.
And me and Jen had issues with that because while we're playing the game, we usually joke around and all that, but during the rules, I got very, very serious, and then I eventually stopped filming the rules with her and went back to doing it solo.
Yeah, because you would ask me how to play, and then I would start saying something, and then you would get mad because I didn't express it the way you wanted to, or it was wrong. And then I would get mad because you're getting mad, and this is just, to me, games are supposed to be fun, and that wasn't fun for me. So it kind of takes it away from me.
Yeah. But I learned, so I do it solo. And it wasn't that I was getting mad, it was just...
Because you take it so seriously. And like I said, to me, it's like, relax. This is a game. It's fun.
Yeah.
This is not a job. This is a game.
Yeah. But the rules section, to me, I do take very seriously. And that kind of made some uncomfortable situations. And that carried over into the gameplay sometimes.
Yeah, because then I had an attitude.
Yeah. But during the gameplay, like I said, I'm going to continue to film the rules solo. And then during the gameplay video, I'm going to try and loosen up a little bit. For the most part, I am what you see on the camera, other than the language. I do curse a lot off camera. And I'm not saying that I'll go nuts with the language on the camera, but every once in a while I will slip soldier, and I'll miss it in post. But
crap.
I've been a little uptight with the gameplays, because I'm trying to watch my language in general with the cursing. But not only that, I'm still getting used to the internet culture.
Where anybody can comment on your stuff.
Yeah, and I'm watching what I'm saying a lot. Because, people, the internet culture is just there to stir the pot and stuff like that, or take offense to stuff that I don't think is offensive, and I'm constantly trying to watch myself with that. And I decided to let that go. It's...
Everybody has opinions, that's all.
Yeah. And if I do insult somebody, it's not intentional. There's very, very few things that insult me.
Yeah.
So it doesn't... to me, something that other people would find offensive isn't,
I'm very insulted that people thought that I wasn't into Imperial Assault. I was totally into that game.
No, you weren't.
No, I wasn't.
But anyway.
I'm so not offended.
I'm gonna try and loosen up a little bit more with the gameplay videos. The rules, I'm still gonna be serious, like I always was.
Yeah,
but
for real.
Like I said, I don't take this channel seriously. I just take what I do seriously. That's kind of weird, hard to explain, but I feel if I'm gonna do a YouTube video that's going to show rules and the gameplay of a game, I want to try and do it accurately, because other people are going to use this to learn from. Even though I've stated many times, and even in the description of the channel, say, this isn't meant to be a rule book replacement or a strategic, advisement of how to play a game. It's just, this is the game. And try and get to feel the game across to people. But I still take it serious when I'm trying to explain the rules of a game. Anything else for you, Jennifer?
No, we're real grateful for you watching. We appreciate all the subscribers. But we're done. No more videos.
No more videos?
No.
Why not?
I don't know. You're going to have a crap load.
Yeah. Now, another thing I want to try to do is the releasing of videos. It's kind of tough because of our schedule. I would like to get it down to a day, like the gameplay, the component. It's not called component anymore.
You want to have a schedule where this kind of video comes out in this day. Is that what you're getting at?
Yeah. It's a little sporadic. I mean, because of the scheduling. And it always has been because of the scheduling, our scheduling.
You used to be on nights, but right now I have a very close family member in the hospital.
Yeah.
So I work and then I go drive an hour to go to the hospital for a few hours, pretty much every day.
Yeah.
So that limits our time.
Well, when everything's settled down here, I want to try and get to a schedule where I'll release, like the gameplay or the overview video on this day, and then this series on this day, and stuff like that. As far as the sit downs is what I've been calling the interview section of it. That just depends on other people. I got no control over that really. I was even thinking about doing one of these with some of the subscribers, to try and get to know the subscribers a little better, and vice versa, for you guys to get to know me a little better. So I was even thinking about maybe doing a hangout with subscribers if anybody's interested, or a Q&A thing or something.
Yeah, you could have somebody submit questions and then I could just read them and you could answer them.
Yeah, something like that.
So Barry, what's your favorite color?
Green.
What's your favorite number?
Anyway, so
I gotta digress every video. Come on now.
Yeah, she does.
So I also have to talk when I'm not facing the microphone.
Yeah, she does.
Yeah.
That's another thing. We're trying to get the audio a little better on this. It's a little tough to figure. Jen fidgets a lot, so I'm afraid to put a lapel mic on her.
I come from a very fidgety people.
I'm still trying to figure out how to do this with multiple people without actually putting a lapel mic on her.
It's weird because I just don't know what to do with my hands.
Yes. So that's another thing I'm going to work on this year. As I said, they're not resolutions. They're basically goals. I'm going to try and hit them if I don't. So that's basically it. So give me. I'd like to know your thoughts on what you would like to see.
What are your opinions on Barry?
No, what would you like to see the channel go? Which direction the channel would go in? What would, if there's any segment ideas you may have or something like that.
I've been always partial to right.
Right.
Well, I'm right-handed, so I don't know. I don't know that right wing, left wing stuff though. I just meant the direction, not political views. I was being a smartass, and it was not good.
No. Alright, other than that, not much else. We have subscribers coming just about every day now. I'd like to thank all the new subscribers and the old subscribers, for all the comments and the support and subscribing in general. As always, if you have any comments or concerns or, suggestions, just leave them in the comments of the video. Eventually, we'll get back to you probably, 2 weeks when we do the next one.
I won't get back to you, but Barry will.
Yes. So is that it?
That is it.
Okay, so
get gaming.
Have fun, and we'll see you next time.
Thanks for watching.